Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mies and welcome to my updated Monarch combo video. So once again, shoutouts to Lithium, the legend himself. And yeah, that's all I had to say. So obviously, I'm not the Monarch god. I tried my best. It's not. I don't even want to pretend like I love this deck because I don't. This gives me flashbacks of the Vietnam War, even though I didn't really assist or witness the Vietnam War, but you can kind of see what I'm trying to say. Not really, but probably. But anyways, leave me alone, okay? This gives me legit flashbacks and nightmares of 2016, where I just couldn't play, and my opponent either drew complete garbage and then I won because they bricked, or they drew the nuts and I couldn't do anything because yes, back in 2016, was it 2016? Probably, but back in 2016 I played like really crappy decks. So yeah. Anyways, before you start, friendly reminder to like, subscribe, blah blah blah. And yeah, let's jump right into it. Jeez, that was a long intro. Anyways, 3 Airbus and 3 Aether. No shit. Airbus is the only monster that you can still summon through Zombie World. So if your opponent is playing Zombie World, ironically, I know, it's a really good floodgate though. So don't sleep on that card. It's a really good card. If Airbus didn't exist, Monarchs would be shit because people would have like searchable Mask of Restricts actually. It's really scary. So yeah, Airbus is really good. It gets rid of pretty much anything that's annoying because it shuffles without targeting, which I want to say is arguably the best best mechanic for board clearing in the game. There's that. There's non-targeting send, non-targeting. Oh, well, technically the best one is banishing face down. Your opponent literally loses the card borderline permanently, unless he uses something weird like Omega or Nyan Nyan. But yeah, non-targeting shuffle back like Ignister, pretty freaking damn insane. And it's like graveyard, field, and hand, so it covers so much ground. And also you have to pitch 2 Monarch spells and traps to use that effect, which is great. It's from your deck to the grave. Imagine, that's like the best payment ever. Yeah, so imagine going to a bank and saying like, I want to pay like negative $50. Basically, you're trying to subtract a negative amount from your bank balance. So in other words, you're gaining $50. That's kind of how I see, payments in Monarchs. It's just hilarious. It's like send 2 cards. Oh no, oh yes. Anyways, Aether is good. Yes, during your own turn, you can technically summon Kuraz, and during your opponent's turn, you can summon, I don't know, either another Aether, another Airbus, or this card, Celeglaire, the Luminous Lunar Dragon. Basically, you can normal summon it without the tribute, but its attack becomes 15, and during the main phase, quick effect, during your opponent's turn as well, you can pretty much return this back to your hand to target and steal a monster your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to this monster. So obviously, if you special summoned it with Aether, it's gonna still have the 24 because you didn't cheat normal summon it, but if you do cheat normal summon it, it's only gonna be able to steal weak monsters. And yeah, it goes back to your hand, which is interesting. I mean, you have like a tribute summon for next turn. You can only use this effect of thingy once per turn, blah blah. And also, it only steals until the end of the turn, but that's fine, honestly. You can even, I don't know, you can combo this off with other things, maybe like tribute during your opponent's turn with escalation, like the monster that you steal, and then summon this again. I don't know. There's a world of possibilities. Anyways. Aether is obviously a really good card. Just like Airbus, it has to pitch 2 cards to use its effect. 2 Monarch spells or trap with different names from your deck. And Airbus also has a Grave effect where you can discard any Monarch spell or trap to recycle back any monster with the Monarch stats from your graveyard to your hand. So also very, very nice. And then we have Vanity's Fiend as 3 because it has 1200 defense, cannot be searched. Whereas Majesty's Fiend, I feel like 1 is enough because it's searchable. So I feel like that's great logic. Technically, I want to say Vanity's Fiend is probably a bit better, but since Majesty's Fiend is searchable, why not play 1, you know? Yeah. Anyways, Kuraz, you usually pop your own cards because the controller of the cards who just got popped draws cards equal to the amount of cards that they lost. So when you pop your own 2 cards, you draw 2. So yeah, pretty much destroying your prime Monarchs most of the time, sometimes even Kuraz himself. Yeah. Anyways, 3 on Camouflage. This is nuts, man. The Pendulum Upstart Goblin, freaking fantastic card. I want to say it's much better than Red Layer now. And also, this card can even be summoned while you control monsters, which is also interesting. You can play around stuff, so yeah, just make sure that you don't really let yourself get cucked by the fact that it goes to the extra deck for a slight period of time. So sometimes your deck might randomly have like a domain on the field with a tribute summon monster. You have this in the in the extra deck all of a sudden because you use the effect to draw one, and then your opponent randomly uses like Super Poly or something, and you're like, wait, you can't do that. I have domain, and you're like, oh shit, yes, I have one card in my extra deck. Wow. So yeah, just gotta make sure that you play around that possibility. Same thing with like El Shadow Fusion. I don't know, like Prank Kids Pandemonium, stuff like that. You get what I'm saying. Anyways, it's a great card though. It's definitely good. If you're going first, it has just virtually no drawback. Outside of, I guess, getting ashed and not having the special summon body on field, it would have been a bit better if it just said special summon itself completely and draw one card on summon. You can't summon from the extra deck until the rest of your YCS or regional event if you use this effect. So yeah, anyways, to Mithra. Personally, I'm a big fan of Mithra. I think it's a bit better than these two because this one idea loses to every hand trap. It loses to Ash, Veiler, and Imperm. Eidos only loses to Veiler and Imperm, and this loses to only Gamma. And that's it. They have to Gamma the effect of Mithra because otherwise they get a token, and then they can no longer Gamma or Imperm you, and then when you Tribute Summon and use the effect of your Monarchs, you can go Chainlink 1 Monarch and then Chainlink 2 Mithra for extra Tribute Summon, and you really just play around so many hand traps by doing that. So I just think this is more resilient. It gets you less advantage, but it's just the safest path, if you understand what I'm saying. So yeah. And then to Eidos, it has a really good grave effect. That's why I still want to play that package, of course. And Idea has the best grave effect, where it recycles back a banished Monarch spell or trap from your deck. Great banished your... I said recycle back a banished from your deck. Yes. Recycle back a banished from your banished. To your hand. Anyways, 3 Pantheism. The day I'll have to explain while you have to play 3 Pantheism will be the day I'll have like an IQ of 0, so yeah, it's no, and people will have, like, people are really stupid if you need, like, explanations. Like, yeah, I play 3 Pot of Greed in my deck. The reason for that is because I like to win, and yeah, winning is cool, winning is great, just, yeah. 3 Tenacity, no shit, it's searches basically everything. I don't have that many targets for Tenacity. They need to respect the Monarch stats. So either, well, you always have to have exactly 1,000 defense, but you have to have either 24 or 2800 attack. So these 6 and this Majesty's Fiend, but that's it. Crew has 2, and in the idea section, I have Danger Dog Shit with Seleglair, and the other one's not really, but, you know, yeah. Anyways, Upstart, of course, so 4 Upstarts in a way, Terraforming, so 4 Domain, Foolish Burial can pitch a lot of cards. You can pitch this to instantly recycle back your Pantheism. You can pitch Eidos, Airbus to have a big Monarch. So, yeah, just... yeah, a lot of options, honestly. Obviously, you can't pitch Prime Monarch, which is funny because when you see this, you're like, oh, this is a monster, but it's a trap. You know, it's a trap that's a monster. Yeah, you're rarely using the on-field effect of Prime Monarch, but actually it's really, really good in grindy matchups. Really, really good. It's kind of like Disciples of the Draco Phoenix in a way, but you only have to shuffle back 2 Monarch spells or traps in your graveyard. So I want to say it's... I don't know. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah, Prime Monarch is like, even the on-field effect is good, and obviously the grave effect is great. You can use it. You can loop it multiple times because it doesn't get banished when it leaves the field, which is fantastic. So yeah, even with 1, you can have constant tribute summons every turn. And then, yeah, of course, 1 Return of the Monarch, 1 March of the Monarch. These are searchable, so they're just gonna break if you play too many. This is just better, I think. 3 Domain, 3 Stormforth, obviously. Stormforth, you can use it on your own turn, technically, like turn 1 going first, because the Mithra gives a token to the opponent, so sometimes you're like in a really shitty position where you have Mithra, Stormforth, and a big Monarch, and 2 cards that cannot be used yet. Like, not Domain, obviously, because Domain would kind of play around that flaw, but, like, let's just say Monarchs Erupt, and I don't know, like Vanity's... No, not Vanity's Fiend, that's actually a really shitty example. But yeah, I don't know, like maybe Prime Monarch, and then you can start playing from there, you pitch Pantheism, you get your pluses, and it's nice. Yeah, anyways... The extra deck, I'm playing nothing, and nothing. Obviously. The idea section, Testalos again, Pankratops. I used to play it in the main deck because you can also tribute summon Pankratops, and it's great. Very good going second, of course. In a deck like this, it's even better. because if you don't need to pop anything, you just jump over something. They're under a lot of pressure as long as you have Pancratops on the field, and if you don't need it anymore, you just tribute over it. Danger Dogman, I hate it. Selegalir is great. 3 red layer if you really want to play more ways to get monsters on the field without wasting like your normal summon on effects that try to get you an additional tribute summon. Yeah. So you don't really need the third ones. And then the garbage classic version of Stormforth, it's technically not that bad, but it's kind of bad because it's not a quick play. So yeah, don't play Soul Exchange. And then Dragonoid Generator. This guy's really cool. So basically during your own turn, obviously it's a continuous spell, you can pay up to 2,000 life points, so 1,000 for each activation. It's you can only use twice effect per turn. You can only use the effect twice per turn to summon like a token that doesn't do jack shit, and you can't summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, but you basically get 2 monsters on the field that you can tribute right away, and during the end phase, your opponent has to special summon 2 Dragonoid token in attack position on their field. So if they have like evenly, they have to crash 2 really weak monsters on your monsters and take like 5k damage just to be able to evenly use. So it's actually very, very nice. And also they can't imperm your Vanity Sphere and stuff like that, blah blah blah. Same thing with Gamma, etc. So yeah, I mean, Gamma is not a problem at this point, only imperm is. But yeah, and then Escalation, I don't think you need this. So that's all I had to say and showcase for my Monarch's deck profile. If you guys have any comments or feedback, let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because it motivates me a lot to keep making videos like these. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.